morning and welcome. You are watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. We begin with news that's just coming in. Shiv Sena MLAs have arrived in Gujarat. 11 MLAs of the Shiv Sena, we are told, are living in a hotel in Surat. These people are led by Eknath Shinde of the Shiv Sena. We are trying to get more details as to what is happening. What we understand is that they are extremely angry with the Shiv Sena. So what we are learning right now in terms of news just coming in is that about 11 MLAs of the Shiv Sena are currently in Surat. They are staying at a hotel. They are led by Eknath Shinde. These pictures on your screen are of these MLAs who have now made their way to Surat. Aishwarya is on the phone line with us. Aishwarya, give us more details.
Well, absolutely, and this is happening just within 24 hours of Congress losing a candidate in the MLC elections. There was cross-voting of exactly 12 MLAs, and right now you can see the visuals of Eknath Shinde with 11 MLAs of Shiv Sena in Surat. This is something despite the Chief Minister of Maharashtra and the other top leaders of the MVA calling all the MLAs back to Maharashtra. You still have these MLAs in Surat. It is sending a very, very strong message back to the leadership of the MVA that all is not well, and especially to that of the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, because this is the second defeat back-to-back. We've seen earlier in the presidential elections as well that there was a lack of 6 MLA support back to the MVA. At this time it has reached 12, and now you can see visually that these 11 MLAs are not in Maharashtra, despite the Chief Minister calling all the MLAs of the Mahavikas Aghadi back to Mumbai for a meeting with him in person. We have these 11 MLAs in Surat with Eknath Shinde. It's a very, very strong message. Going back, we've just seen Devendra Fadnavis leading this attack as far as BJP is concerned and being successful both the times. And now, when you have a visual proof of all these MLAs being in Surat, that in itself is sending a clear message that all is not well within the NDA government.
Absolutely, Aishwarya, as you're pointing out, of course, this development comes, amid allegations of cross-voting by some Shiv Sena MLAs. So, a great deal of concern for the MVA government now? Okay, I don't think we've got Aishwarya, but Mr. Bhatkalkar on the phone line with us. Mr. Bhatkalkar, good morning. What do you make of this development? Of course, there have been fears of cross-voting, allegations of that, and now we are learning that these 11 MLAs are holed up in a hotel. They're out of reach. Their phones are out of reach.
Yeah, absolutely. Right from the day one, we are saying that this government came into existence just because of hatred of Bharatiya Janata Party, hatred of Devendra Fadnavis, and hatred of Modi ji. This all three-party government had only this much minimum common agenda. There is a lot of unrest within the Shiv Sena, but we are not concerned about that. We are really concerned about the way they are behaving with the people of Maharashtra. Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, in his tenure of Chief Minister of last 5 years, he started so many development projects, but this government has stopped almost all development projects. They neglected a farmer, they neglected a common man. During COVID time, Chief Minister did not come out for once of his Varsha reception, and totally what you call Ram Bharose Sarkar is going on for in Maharashtra. And so, as far as BJP is concerned, as yesterday stated by Honorable Devendra Fadnavis, our leader in Maharashtra, that we will continue to raise issues of common man, farmers, in the public, on the street, and in the House Assembly.
Right. Do you think that this will perhaps divide the MVA down the middle, and do you think that this could spell a lot of trouble for the Chief Minister?
I am I am unable to comment on their internal issues. I can say most about the BJP's position, which I stated just now. And so these are all their internal matters they have to handle. Yesterday's election, all votes were cross-voting took place. That showed the unrest among their MLAs, and a lot of unrest already are there among the common man in Maharashtra.
All right, Mr. Bhatkalkar, thank you for joining us. So Mr. Bhatkalkar over there saying that this is a problem that the MVA has faced since the day of its inception, going on to say that this could perhaps lead to more trouble for the Chief Minister. Now, just to tell our viewers, what we understand is that after allegations of cross-voting, we are now seeing about 11 MLAs who have arrived in Surat. Alisha is reporting on this. Alisha, give us the latest. Now, we understand that the Chief Minister, Uddhav Thackeray, has called for an emergency meeting, and this is the second one that he's called for.
Well, of course, even yesterday, Bharatiya Janata Party clearly stated that in the elections ahead, yesterday, the cross-voting, and 12 MLAs itself has voted for Bharatiya Janata Party. This is after now the Chief Thackeray has called for a meet of all the.
All right, we seem to have lost that connection with Alisha. We're going to try and get her back in just a bit. But there are huge fears of a divide in the Maharashtra government. The MVA, we are told, could be in trouble. Now, there are about 11 MLAs in Eknath Shinde's camp. Now, Eknath Shinde and these 11 MLAs have now shifted to a hotel in Surat. We are showing you pictures from that particular hotel where all these Shiv Sena MLAs are holed up. In the run-up to all of this, what we are seeing is drama back in Mumbai as well. The Chief Minister, Uddhav Thackeray, has called for an emergency meeting of Shiv Sena MLAs. I'm going to go back to Alisha on this. Alisha, give us more details of the emergency meeting that Uddhav Thackeray has called for. Now, we do understand that several of these MLAs, their phones are also not reachable.
Of course, the information that has been coming in that MLAs are not reachable, and of course, the Minister and Minister Eknath Shinde is leading the rebellious MLAs, and all are in a Surat 5-star hotel. Looking after the cross-voting, the allegation that was made by Bharatiya Janata Party, and clearly looking at the numbers where the Shiv Sena should get and the vote should be given to the Congress as well. But the winning candidate was from the BJP, and that was a fight of the Congress. So after this, where the Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has called the meeting, he has asked all the Shiv Sena MLAs to be present at Wadha Bungalow at 12 p.m. But now it has been said that 11 MLAs who are already in Surat. There could be a discussion, but what now information that we are getting it from Congress and SDP camp as well, because after Sena, now the Congress and SDP are trying to get in touch with their MLAs, because the fight that held between Congress versus Congress, the Congress could not get numbers because the numbers were only 20 and also being in the majority when Sagari into the power, when being able to get the total number to win their 6 candidates. That is the reason where now it is said that Bharata Thora, who is the Congress minister, he has taken off the responsibility, and he's on the verge of to resign as a group leader, because he's been made in charge for the election. But whether it is Rajya Sabha election, particularly in MLC election, Congress could not be able, is ready to take the responsibility. He is the voice to resign the group leader. It is a discussion, but all eyes on Surat, because it has been said that now Eknath Shinde, who is leading all this rebellion, is going to speak to media and get to know what exactly the reason is, where the 11 MLAs cross-voted in the MLC election and now have been moved.
All right, as Alisha is pointing out, what we know for a fact right now, Alisha, is that perhaps cross-voting did take place, because as you were pointing out, the 6th, candidate would not have won if cross-voting hadn't taken place. Now, what we also understand is that there is suspicion that cross-voting took place from the Shiv Sena as well as from the Congress party. All right, we seem to have lost that audio connection.